Chris, when somebody says, Chris, what do you do? What's your answer to that question? And no rush, by the way. You've got a very kind of big history of stuff that you do. But today, when somebody asks you that question, what is it you do?
Yeah, I'm a big believer of the KISS, the keep it simple, stupid. So I'm very passive, and I always kind of downplay most stuff. I'm kind of, I would look at myself as I'm like an entrepreneur, I'm an inventor, I'm a technical analyst, investor, I'm a father, a husband. I mean, I'm just an all around kind of guy, and my real passion, my big passion, is creating stuff and investing in the markets, the stock and bond markets. And doing that is very creative because you're creating systems and strategies, and it's a constant game. It's a lot kind of like poker, a lot of emotions in there, and you're playing the emotions of the rest of the world. And in a nutshell, I'm just kind of a well-rounded kind of average person who does a lot of different stuff, and it's all stuff I'm passionate about. Which I'm always busy, but I love what I do, and nothing feels like work, which is the nice part of it.
Well, now I know that, you're, of course, your business, the technical traders, like, so when you look at what you're doing in terms of your finance and building a business, would you consider yourself a financial advisor, a stockbroker? Kind of what part of that do you play, or what kind of a handle do you put on
Mhm.
yourself for that?
Right. So I am definitely not a financial advisor. I'm not a registered advisor in any way. I literally run a financial newsletter, which is runs under kind of the freedom of speech. So I share my research, I share my analysis, how I'm investing my money, what I'm doing with subscribers who follow what I do. So I believe that the financial system is completely backwards in how it invests people's money. And my whole strategy and what I do is like a 180, polar opposite of the buy and hold strategy and things like that. So I'm kind of the opposite side of the coin, trying to help the people, helping investors. And one of the biggest things that I'm most passionate about right now, and I have been for a long time, but is the majority of the people, investors are 45 plus. They've got the most wealth they've ever had. They're close to retirement. They're retired, and we're coming up to what I think is potentially some very difficult times financially. And I want to try to protect them for years to come. And the current financial industry really doesn't have a system in place to protect people from multi-year disasters and financial resets that can happen across a whole spectrum of assets. So I'm trying to help other people avoid damage. And it's like Murphy's Law. If you're an entrepreneur, the worst thing's going to happen at the worst time. And I feel like that could happen to investors. And I just want them to see the light and realize there's another way to invest that protects capital. And that's what I try to do with my newsletter and research.
And something that I think, first off, I want to point out that you are Canadian, and you're out in Ontario, near, not far from Toronto, but that's just to say you're Canadian. And I want to point out that, something that you said that really rang true is around, and I don't remember what exact language you used, but it really differentiated the emotionality of investing versus the technical trading. And there is a significant difference. And my understanding is, certainly based on the name, you are a technical trader.
Yeah. So there's, when I got involved in the market, so long story short, going way back, I got hooked on the stock market when I was 16 years old in high school.
Yeah.
And our finance class had a stock market challenge. And so we all had to pick stocks and follow the newspaper. And we ended up making like $180,000 or something like that in a semester with play money. But that was my eye opener as 16 years old. I'm like, wow, this I just have to open a newspaper and I can make like ridiculous money. So I was pretty much hooked at that point.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of where I kind of got into this whole area of the finance and trying to help you know grow my money that way through the markets. And it slowly just evolved into strategies and trading systems. And yeah, so it just kind of evolved that way.